Welcome everybody to our first episode of Don Talk. We had some technical difficulties with the video, so you got some AI generated photos of us on overlaid on top of voices. So bear with us as we try to get everything working correctly. But hope you enjoy the episode. If you do, make sure you click and subscribe so you get updates and alerts every time we drop a new episode weekly, and our intro videos leading up to the episodes coming for that week. So bear with us. Enjoy the episode. Welcome everybody to Don Talk. This is our first episode. We're gonna bring you the real truth, the real emotions. We're gonna just be real. Just tell you like it
Yeah,
is.
that's it. So that I think that's about, that's about right, Mike. So let's just get into it, man.
Oh.
You know me and my questions. So here's the question of the day for this podcast. If your significant other cheated on you,
Mm-hmm.
would you want to know?
Mm.
Let me be clear. Let me be more exact. If your girlfriend, boyfriend, wife, whomever it is,
Ooh,
right? If they cheated on you, would you want them to tell you? Or would you even tell them?
that's a
It's
that's a
showstopper,
burner.
baby. Yeah, it
That's
is.
a burner. Um, I have some personal experiences behind this. So,
Okay.
uh, I have made some mistakes before. I'll put it
Uh-huh.
that way. And initially when it happened, I didn't say anything,
Hmm.
but then it began to eat me up inside to the point where I had to say something. That's me. Now, would I want them to say something to me? I don't know.
Wait. So you telling me that just because you were feeling bad,
Yeah.
you wanted to get that spirit out of you. You want to get
Yes.
that negative energy out of you. But
Yeah.
you know that energy goes to the next person.
Mm.
You feel better, but how does that other person feel now?
Yeah. Sometimes you got to take care of yourself,
So you're
and
that is a selfish and selfless
yeah.
that you just made, right? But in
Hmm.
this situation, to make yourself feel better about what's going on within you, you decided to tell. I remember OG mama told me, I ain't gonna say her name, but grandmama, she said,
Uh-huh.
if you cheat on your girlfriend or wife, you keep that demon to yourself and you live
Uh,
with that devil.
uh,
You live with it because to them, they have a faithful partner. Why can't you just let them think that way?
yeah.
You just want to feel better about what you did wrong.
But I hear that. So the question is, how did we grow up to make us shaped us in this way? I think there's a root cause to everything,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Mhm.
There's something that I don't think people just inherently cheat or make mistakes or mess around. However you want to say it. I don't think that.
Okay.
I think I think we are living off of past trauma, undealt with trauma. And it's not excuse. I'm not justifying anything. I think
Uh-huh.
we live off undealt with, unhealed trauma that causes us to react in certain ways and do things certain ways. And I think getting to that is what I definitely want to talk about, because there's a story that I've uncovered
Okay.
for me to understand why I've acted and done certain things that I've done.
Oh, now I'm interested in the story that you uncovered, man. What
Hey, oh,
you can't just say that and not and
hey,
just kinda skip
hey.
over it.
I know. So now that just goes back to my name is Michael. I'm born in Inglewood, California. You know, me and you grew up together. I think we probably met at 6, 7 years old, and
You know, I say we
something like
met
that.
at birth, but I don't
At
know.
birth, we could be. I just don't remember that far back.
Yeah.
So we grew up in a church, right? We probably stayed 5 minutes from each other. right?
Mhm.
I'm 48 right now. How old are you? Yeah, think about it.
47, I believe. I believe
So
I'm 47.
here's one of the underlying things that people are gonna see in throughout the series of us talking. Me and Duran have known each other for 40 plus years. We don't know jack about each other. When you talk about getting down to the nitty gritty of that, I have my friend who always be like, "Oh, you hung out with Sean and Duran. Like, what's going on in their life?" I don't know. Uh, like, what do you mean you don't know? What y'all talk about? We just hung out.
That's it, just
We
kicked
just
it.
kicked it. But it's like I think we have to get beyond that, and this is one of the purposes behind that. We got to get beyond just hanging out.
Mhm,
Men need other men to talk to. Men need other men to be able to unload their what's going on in their life so they can help because we bottle so much in that it that erupts in so many different ways and we don't
mhm.
understand it. So that's what we're here to do. All right, one of the things we're here to do.
Yeah,
So
so back to the question real quick that started it all, right?
yeah.
You said you would want to know if your significant other
I
cheated on
don't
you?
know if I wanted to know. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I don't know because I
Well,
don't want to, like you said, I don't want to destroy the image of who this person is that I love. And I
mm,
just hope that she's remorseful enough that she wouldn't do it again,
there you go. So
and she
why
could
can't
keep
you
it.
be that way for her?
I don't know. We're gonna talk about this. That's what we're gonna talk about. That's what we're here to talk about. So we grew up in a church, right?
Right?
And I think that the church, and I'm using church as a general statement,
Mhm.
the church, in my eyes, has misled us. They taught, I believe that they taught us how to hate more than they did love.
Now, I just want to clarify, Michael didn't say God misled us.
Yes,
He said church.
the church, the
Okay,
man-made church,
okay. Just
the
want to be
the
clear with
the
that.
the man's interpretation of the word and what they started
Mhm.
leading and preaching, the four walls that they built and what they started leading.
Yeah,
Um,
we was asleep half the time, but
yeah, we
that's
were,
something.
or back there acting a fool.
Touching on
So,
legs, but I ain't gonna say nothing
hey,
else.
whoa, okay, that's a different story. Let's talk about that
But
later.
we were teenagers, man. It was
Yeah,
girls next to us. I'm sorry,
right.
I couldn't
No, you're
help it.
right. So we grew up together. I think it was it about high school that we started calling ourselves the Dons, right?
Hmm.
We don't get to what that means, but I want to answer your question. Um, the I was a virgin until I was 20,
Okay.
and that's a whole nother story how I lost my virginity. I think that person lied to me, that saying they was a virgin, and I wanted to lose my virginity with another virgin, and they weren't a virgin, but they claimed they told me they wasn't, but they no, that's not the story I remember. That's a whole nother story. See, this is the past trauma that we deal with. So you lied
Okay.
to take my purity away from me.
No, they lied to make themselves feel better, just like you did,
Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're
right?
right. Yeah. So my first, I ain't gonna say my first, the first recollection of me, I guess trauma experience with a female. Um, is I was a virgin, dating a girl in high school, and I have people coming to me like, "Oh, Michael, congratulations." I'm like, "Well, what?" "Oh, so and so is pregnant. Congratulations." "She is?" So I'm like, "I'm a virgin. I know it. My girlfriend knows it, but yet everybody's congratulating me on her being pregnant." And
I was the baby daddy.
I ain't. I was not the baby daddy. I was a baby papa. So I think that was one of the first things that was like, wow, like this is this is life, you know.
Right.
I don't, and that's one you could say that's one thing I never dealt with. You know, I just moved on, tucked it in inside, and moved on.
Yeah, I would say I can I can pinpoint the exact street. I mean, if I go back there, I can't remember. if I go back there, I know the street what it was. I can't think in my head, but I knew where I was, and I was 13 years old. I remember this like the oh man, I remember this. It broke my heart so bad, man. 13 years old, and I there was this girl, pretty girl. Her name was Ken Keisha. I'm gonna say her name, Ken Keisha. Right?
Mm.
That's a
Uh-oh.
hood name. If it
She
ain't,
about to blow you up after this.
look, man. So she, this was my first I thought girlfriend because she said she liked me and I liked her, and I was 13 and I was just like, all right, cool, I got me a girlfriend, right? I would say about two, 2 or 3 days later, uh, while walking her home, we're almost at her house. She tells me she likes my best friend.
Mm.
Now, to a 13-year-old who never had a girl, right? Mind you, I grew up around the Dons. Like y'all had beauty queens all day,
Yeah, now hold up.
right?
Let's not spread all the
No,
business. Like this.
no, but you did. I mean, to be real, like you guys. I mean, as far as growing up, you guys, had like pretty women that was always just next to you guys,
Mhm.
right? From my brother, your brother, brother, brothers that I'm not gonna mention. But it was just no, it wasn't nothing like we playing games and we sleeping with these women. I mean, we were 13 years old. We weren't doing nothing but
Yeah.
liking girls.
Yeah.
But from that day forward, man, I told myself I would never let another girl do that to me.
And that's what's so crazy is because I think that kind of there's a mixture of how I grew up, right? How we
Mhm,
grew up. I remember I broke up with my first love because the church told me what she how she wanted to live her life wasn't right.
mhm.
And I'm like, I look back at that mess now and I'm like, how dumb. But like that girl's so happy with her life. I'm not saying I would regret anything, but it's just like the Bible talk, and I'm not here to preach to nobody. The Bible talks
Mm,
about there's two things that the Bible says I live on today. Love the Lord with all your heart, mind, and soul, and love your neighbor as yourself. Above these two, there are no greater commandments. And this is Christ himself saying this. But yet I haven't been to a church that preaches those two things.
mm,
They want to
mm.
preach every other rule and don't do this, don't hang out with this, don't do this person, don't. But teach me how to love the Lord, my God, with all my heart, mind, and
So
soul,
are
and teach me,
so are you putting it on these churches, the reasons why you feel the way you feel
no,
right now?
I'm saying this is a part of how I grew up,
Uh,
and that being instilled in me. So now I have my quote unquote first love not being the godly person that the church told me I need to be with, and then I just kind of
okay.
tore us apart, right? And then I find another girlfriend, and that's the one that end up, having um, getting pregnant while we together, and I'm still a virgin. So my whole high school experience is girls trying to be the person that took Michael's virginity, you know.
Um,
So and then once they saw that they couldn't do it, then they would leave me alone. So that created a subconsciously, I think it ended up creating an importance of sex. That like if I do not produce sexually, then I'm not a desired individual. Because they got to a point of they want it, then they saw they couldn't get it and they disappear. So I feel like that's just a part of like recognizing the things that I went through as a child, as a young adult, and how that's making me react to certain things today. You know, I think that's just part of it. Understanding that. So yeah, like, and then when I actually lost my virginity, it's like a virgin is not going to be telling you to go faster, go harder. And I'm sitting here like, it don't make no sense.
Wait, you a virgin? I'm supposed to go faster? This ain't
Yeah.
hurting?
So it's like, I got I don't know how and why, but all these circumstances just, you know, built up a level of like, okay, not really understanding um, where or how I'm supposed to feel and treat women. And I think, and I would say this, and I know I'm jumping around. The kicker, here's the kicker, and I don't know if I ever told you this. I had when I was, my I have a daughter's 25, raised her as a single parent. Um, and we'll get into that in another episode. But this is, I realized this literally in the past 2 weeks, maybe even longer. Um, I was in a relationship, and my daughter was 6 at the time, and she had a brain aneurysm that burst. And I had it was a great relationship. The girl I was with knew Taylor, was she was helping me out, whenever she could. I was at Purdue, she was in Indianapolis. Um, and Taylor, the one true love that I have, which is my daughter, the thought of losing her. She had a brain aneurysm that burst, passed out at school, had to have open brain surgery, was hospitalized, like at the age of 6. Like, I remember in the hospital, I think day 2 in the hospital, I'm in a great relationship, but the thought of losing someone I loved triggered something that, like, I'd never want to be in that position to lose something I love. So what did I do?
Avoid them.
No, broke up with her right then and there. I can't do this no more. And it, once again, like you said earlier, selfish. It crushed her at the time. But like I went in protection mode. I got to protect me because I almost lost the most important thing in my life. And no one at that point in time taught me how to deal with these emotions and feelings to properly engage with your partner, your friends, and stuff like that, to deal with it properly. So the only thing I knew what to do was to retreat, cut everything off, and protect myself and my feelings. And I broke up with her at the hospital. She's there to support me and help me out and help me get through this pain that I'm experiencing and help be there for my daughter. And I broke up with her. And like I think that was a point where I don't know if I've truly got over that fact, right? That point right there where, can I allow someone to come in and love unconditionally and love openly, to receive love without fear of losing it? Because there's always in my head to lose it. And um, it's the same goes with I had a career in the track injury. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I was 4-time Big Ten champion, 2-time All-American in the triple jump. Still hold the school record in the triple jump.
That's right.
Um, my senior year just placed third at NCAA's, and going practicing for outdoor season. I was doing long jump pop-ups, came down wrong, hyperextended my knee, tore a blood vessel, severed a nerve, career ruined, tore ACL, PCL, LCL, the whole nine. You put everything you have into something and lose it like that, the trauma and fear of putting all into something again and losing it is still there. And I'm working on that now. And um, those are triggers. Things come up to where not justifying anything. Some things come up to where, unless you've dealt with those and healed, which I'm still learning how to do, then those triggers allow you to act out in certain ways that's not healthy for you and others around you.
Do you know why it's good to recognize your triggers?
No, tell me why.
Because once you recognize your triggers, you know what to do before they come,
Hmm. But tell me
right?
about that. Like, what you mean?
Well, let's say one of your triggers is, can you give me one of your triggers? Just something that you
Trigger,
know.
like, that's a good example. Putting my all into something, knowing
Okay.
that the past has told me that if I put my all in something, I'm gonna lose it,
So
right?
putting your all into something, loving something, other than your
Mhm.
dog is just is there. You can't do it, right?
Yeah.
That's gonna be your love forever, even when
Yep.
you die. That's gonna be your love,
Mhm.
right? So that's why she's that's why you feel it's like a forever connection. You can't lose that, right?
Mhm.
You're not gonna drop her, right? Because you can't, because
Mhm.
she's a part of you, right? But let's say something else. You put your all into a new job, right?
Mhm.
You're gonna be afraid to because what? Now you're thinking, okay, one day they may fire me,
Yeah, by
right?
saying
One day
by
may
which has happened, by just trying to help out, you get
I just
fired.
trying to help out. You know, you get
Make the place
fired.
a better place.
So before you even try to apply, you already know that these things may come up, right?
Mhm.
And that's when you start to reflect, right? That's when you start to say, well, Mike, yeah, it is a possibility that the company may go down, right? It is a possibility that they may lay you off, but you have to see your big picture. Look at the big picture, right?
Mhm.
Your big picture is not staying at this job. Your big picture is getting there, getting what you need to do, before they can let you go and prepare for your next step. See, what most people do is they know they don't know their next step, but they know their step after the next step. You
So you
think
saying we
about it.
skipping a step?
No, not skipping the step, but just recognizing the step after the step you just made.
Mhm.
So if you made the step to work for a organization, you know that eventually you're gonna do something else. Like one of the Dons, right? Right? He knows that he's not gonna be at a certain place at a certain time. So he get what he needs to do and he moves on,
I
right?
wonder what Don we talking about.
He knows, but the thing is, I mean, he made some cool moves. It's almost like he sees the bigger picture,
Mhm.
right? So I think it's important that we see the bigger picture, in this situation, right? Let's go for relationships, right? It's a strong possibility that that next girl may leave you. Strong possibility. Y'all may just grow apart, right? But what's your next step? Are you putting everything into her? Are you putting everything into that relationship? You're not going to. Why?
Fear.
Because of fear. Is that fair to
Mhm.
anybody?
Nope, ain't fair to me, ain't fair to that person, that individual. Not
All
fair at
right.
all,
So
no.
look at the big picture. If you've been in a relationship before, feel good.
Mhm.
Unlimited sex when you want it.
Mhm.
Unlimited loving when you want it. It better be
Mhm. It bet
right.
it better
Right.
be.
Right. This I would say just looking at the bigger picture and kind of see, the other side of the coin. I always have this
Mhm.
coin with me. I always have this coin with me. It's upstairs. But you have the heads and the tails, right?
Mhm.
Most of us, we only look at the side of the coin that scares us, right? We only
Mm,
pay attention to that side of the coin that scares us, but we forget there's another side of the coin that we forget to look at.
mm,
We need to start seeing both sides of the coin because the worst case scenario, looking at both sides of the coin, we're not so happy, but we're not so sad. What are we? We're balanced.
mm. Deron, you coming with a lot of knowledge. Why is this? Who are you right here, right now?
I am a father.
Uh-huh.
I'm a don. I'm a gentleman. I am a professional. Right. I'm a lot of things. Right.
Mhm.
I don't really say that I'm one thing, right? I like to be
Mhm.
the most interesting man in the universe, right? I would, right? I like to be
Is this
like
a
most people
commercial?
want to, no, most people want to be, look, most people want to be the richest, and that's fine. Do your thing.
Mhm.
Most people want to be the sexiest. Most people want to be the strongest, the biggest. I like to be the most interesting person, right?
Why?
Knowing like why? Because you get to, being an interesting person, that means you talk to a lot of interesting people. You're an interesting
Mhm.
person, right? You're telling me from where I came from. I came from LA, Crenshaw, Florence. Yes, Boys in the Hood is one of my favorite movies.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, right? Grew up. grew up in the streets. I wasn't of them, but I was sure around them and protecting myself, right? But in my lifetime, I've met so many interesting people, you know, and I want to continue to do that. I want to continue to have these interesting conversations. Man, just hearing your story, there's a lot. We've been friends for 40 something years, right? There's a
Mhm.
lot we still don't know about
Still don't
each
know.
other,
Yeah. Mhm.
right? I don't even know what you do for a living, to be honest,
You don't?
right?
Hey. Hey, there's a lot we gonna learn about each other doing
Exactly.
this podcast. I'll tell
Exactly.
you. Hey,
But
it's gonna be fun.
I do want to answer the question that I posed in the beginning.
Mhm.
And no, I don't want to know. I'm married. I don't want to
Mm.
know if my wife cheated on me. And
So
I
she
would not
could
tell her if I cheated on her. I'll be completely honest.
so she could be out there slapping skins right now.
To me, I
You
have a
don't
faithful wife.
you don't wanna know.
No, I don't.
Mm.
For what? For what? Okay, here's the scenario takes through my head. Let's say she tells me,
Uh-huh.
right? Worst case scenario, we get a divorce, or we try to work it out and we get divorced, right?
Mhm.
She gonna go on to have a happy life with her other husband, while I'm having relationship issues because oh, I'm sorry, I'm having trust issues with the women that I'm trying to be with
Mm.
because my wife, well, my ex-wife, cheated on me. That's not
Mhm.
fair. That's not right. Me personally, I don't want to go through that, right? I want to know in my mind, and this is what I tell a lot of people, what for? Why do you want to know? And then some people say, well, what if they're sleeping with a lot of people and then they may have a disease and things like that. Now, when you have a habitual cheater, then that's a totally different story. But at the same time, if the person is coming back and they're treating you right and you know that in your mind, you know that they're being faithful to you, I'm not saying it's right. Let's be
Yeah.
clear. I'm not saying it's right, but what good is it for me to know?
Mhm.
Two totally
That's a good
different
one.
ways.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm man, Mike, I'm not trying to know this. Like I've been married for
But
going on 17 years.
so your wife could have had 17 different partners and one a year, and you don't wanna know.
No, I don't.
Uh.
Now, if she get caught, that's a different. That I don't know what switch is gonna come on in me. You know what I mean? But I am see the thing is I can believe that. I can decide to believe that she has multiple lovers out there. She's doing multiple
Mhm.
things. But I choose, just like we choose to believe in God. We
Mhm.
choose to believe in God, right? Belief is pretty much not knowing. You don't really
Yeah.
know 100%, right? So I'm choosing to believe that I have a faithful wife that loves me, that loves my children. That's what I choose to believe. Now, if she shows me something otherwise, then
Yeah.
obviously that's a different story.
What if she asks you if
If I cheat on her,
if you've been unfaithful?
if she asks me, she has asked me. I told her no. I'm not going to tell her
You gonna continue to lie to her?
because I'm lying. You trying to catch me or something? No. Well, who says I'm lying? But I've
Uh,
been completely faithful. By the way, have I?
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? My whole point is, well, first of all, I work from home. We both work from home. We can't really, can't
You
really.
could. You could have lunch meetings. Let me stop. I'm not trying to put it.
No,
So
no,
what
no, no, no,
so
and that's fine because I've heard a lot of this, and a lot of people say, "Man, why you want to know? Why don't you want to know? What for, man? Until you are at the marriage status that I'm in, then
so
I'm
what
letting you know." Go ahead.
what brought you to that point, to that realization? Like, you didn't just come up with this as a 47-year-old man.
No.
Like, what childhood experiences brought you to come to this realization? Because there's a root cause to you feeling this way.
Well, there's a history of like some infidelity in my family. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And I don't want to I don't want to live
What?
that
There
way.
is? I
It's a
didn't know
little
that.
bit.
I didn't know that. Let me
At
sip
look,
on
look,
that.
look, 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 look. Let me remind that there is what I'm looking for. There is rumor of infidelity
Rumors, that's a
in
good
my
way to put
family,
it.
right?
Yeah.
There's rumor because personally I've never seen it.
Mhm.
Personally, I've never caught it, but We hear it. Like, man, man, a lot of people in my family got dragged through the mud.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I just don't want to be, in that situation, and that's why I don't need to know.
Mhm.
All I need to know is that my wife is happy, which when I asked her, she said yes, so I choose to believe her. And most people would say, "Oh, you're dealing with, you're in what's the word I'm looking for? I can't really think about it. Not doubt, but
Denial?
denial. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you're in denial.
Is it
Denial
denial
can
if you don't wanna know? Like, I don't know, that's not denial. That
no,
just
but
denial
that's why
is you not believing what you were
that's why I
told.
disagree with. Yeah, yeah. Okay, I
She
stand
told you
corrected.
she
Yeah.
cheated, like, "Nah, you didn't. No, you didn't. Nah."
You know what she did ask me? She said, "Have you ever cheated on me?" I said, "No."
Mm,
Now it's up to her whether believe. Nothing. What if I said, "So cool"? Yeah, I did. Now you don't know whether I'm lying or not.
yeah.
Now it's up to you to choose to believe what I said or not. I'm not
Mhm.
playing that. I'm not playing that game, man. Like I said, every year I'm married, my husband's stock goes up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I look at marriage like some good stock,
Mhm.
right? Because everybody can't do it. Everybody
So
can't. Go ahead.
no, like, sorry, I get excited to ask questions and dive in. I don't wanna keep interrupting you. So that brings us to another question. You may have answered the question, and I'll answer it too. Did you have a good visual foundation of what a marriage was growing up?
I would say my grandparents.
Mhm.
My grandparents. They passed away. They were married for I think it was like 65 years. So I look at them as okay, that's what a marriage is supposed to be like. On the out, but I was on the outside looking in, not knowing that there are other things going on. As far as just random marriage stuff. Like if you've been in a relationship, there are things going on in your relationship that nobody knows. But just looking at them as a kid, I thought my grandparents was the coolest married couple ever, man. And I said, Imma
Mhm.
have that. So
Yeah.
that's that I do everything I can to make sure that I make it through those years.
So your grandparents, but your parents, the answer is
My parents, they show me what I need to do better,
mhm.
if that makes sense, right? And
Yeah.
we can that's another one, but absolutely, my parents weren't married, I think, my dad's been married twice. You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? My mom married twice. Yeah, twice as well, right?
Mhm.
Um, I didn't look at them as like, okay, they're the ideal married couple. I didn't do that. When they first got married, as far as my dad and Paulette, which,
Mhm.
um, when I seen them, I said, "Oh man, it's about to be some trouble in a good way," because they were both beasts. They were like in
Yeah.
the prime of their
Right.
ministry type thing. So when I looked at them, I was excited. I was like, "Ooh, they about to tear it down." So when I looked at them as two married people who couldn't be messed with, and that's how me and my wife are. We two people, yeah, we nice and all, but try to mess with us.
Mhm. Yeah.
We ain't gonna hurt you. But
Right.
what I mean is we're so connected and we have this relationship that it's hard to kind of break that bond.
No, yeah, hey, the prime years of them 2 was some good old times.
Good old
Good
time.
old times.
Good old times, man. But
Good
what
old
what
time.
about you? What about you, man? I mean, I guess the question I want to know is like, how are you managing everything that's going on right now with you? Like with your experiences, with the with how you grew up and the influences that certain relationships had on you.
I'm uncovering a lot of stuff I didn't know had an effect on me, I'll put it that way, and I'll give you a prime example. Um, my mom passed away in December 2020. She was the positive voice. Whenever I was down and out, my mom was the one that lifted me out of it,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely,
Yeah,
yes.
everybody that knows it knows that that's
Absolutely.
who she was. So it's like
Mhm.
I talk to her all the time. She got me through it, blah blah. Blah. And my father's still alive. And there's another thing that I realized, and I haven't even talked to him about this because I don't know how. And this is what we'll talk about here in a minute. One of the biggest effects or traumatic experiences that I've had is him not being present when I needed him most. My parents were together until my mom passed away. Um, over 55 years, I think they were married.
Oh, wow.
Um, so my
Wait, but he was there all the time? What do you mean present? Like, he every time
that's
I went
I'm
there,
about to tell
he
you.
was there. Okay.
Yeah. So my father was a disciplinarian. He was the ultimate provider. We never went without what we needed. Did we have what we wanted? No, it's five of us. That's five,
Got you, yeah.
you couldn't
Yeah,
get everything you wanted. I understand that
yeah,
part. Here's the thing that I'm dealing with. I was a multi-sport athlete in high school.
right.
Um, Played basketball, ran track, played baseball growing up. Um, so when I got to high school, baseball and track were going on at the same time, so I had to pick one. So it was ended up being basketball and track, two different seasons. Uh, and then I at the time I was that guy. I love basketball was my favorite sport to this day. Love basketball. I wasn't good at it. Not for like a team standard. I was a co-rec All-American though when I was at Purdue. You couldn't stop us at the co-rec. Like I was a co-rec All-American. But in high school, I was that guy that's a minute left in a game. We up by 20, put Turner in. I was that guy, right? So,
Okay.
but I love basketball. So I think my father wanted me to be a basketball player. Because I think that was his favorite sport, and he wanted us. I felt like he wanted us to live through his shoes, like what he couldn't do. So after my junior year, I decided to stop playing basketball because at the time, this is '94. At the time, colleges looked at you during your junior year to see if you were in the position to be offered a scholarship your senior year. So you were set. I didn't have any scholarship offers, but I had such a vast improvement in track and field that I needed to focus 100% on that.
Okay.
So I stopped playing basketball. And when I told my father I'm going to stop playing basketball to concentrate on track because that's what's going best for me, and I wanted to earn a scholarship so they didn't have to worry about me going to school. He said I was making the biggest mistake of my life. And then up until that point, he was at every sporting event I ever had. He was there in the stands, help like coaching from afar, giving that positive affirmation, hardcore, you should have done this better. Like it was good. Up until I said I didn't want to play basketball anymore. I wanted to concentrate on track. My whole senior year, my recollection,
Mhm.
keyword, I do not recall him being at one single event my senior year. So now here's part of what I'm dealing with. Based on a decision that I made, which I felt was best for me, I lost the support that I yearned for and desired. And now I'm realizing over the past year, I've realized how much of effect that has had on me in doubting myself, working hard to receive the praise, like being a performer to receive the comfort and love that I desire and yearn for. Um, and, and that's a traumatic experience that I'm still trying to deal with and if you want to say heal from and learn how not to let that lead in fear because ultimately that's a fear-based thing. Like if I make this decision, is this person going to leave me?
What would you tell your dad if you
I
could?
don't know. That's where my last therapist had me write a letter to him and not necessarily to turn it to give it to him, but to write it to get the emotions of it out. And then I had another therapist say, like, you don't tell them what you feel unless you have a reason for it. And I don't know why I would tell him this experience other than to for him to
Well,
be hurt from what he
let
put me through.
let's say I was your dad.
Mhm.
Let's say I was his dad, right? And they probably did. It's called like it's an empty chair type thing. But let's say I was your dad,
Yeah,
right?
I haven't done this exercise before, so I don't know
Oh,
how
you
well it's
haven't?
gonna
Okay,
go.
okay.
No, because I don't know
Okay,
why.
let me
I
tell
don't
you,
have a why.
wait, hold on. Let's try because you know if ain't out there, we can. I'm just curious. I'm just curious, right? I'm your dad. I'm sitting there. You call ring a ring. Hey, pop, what's going on? And I don't know your pops 100 because to me, your pops was more. He was just like silent but deadly. To be honest, like I was scared of your dad for a minute because he never said nothing, and he would just walk past. And I'm like, I don't know if he was gonna hit me in the face when he walked past because I did something stupid, right? So I don't, because when he whooped y'all, I thought I was gonna get one too, you know. You know, when I seen the spoon come out, I was like, "Oh man, I'm shaking my boots." I think he was more scary than my dad. I'm sitting here like, but look, so I'm your dad, right?
Mhm.
What you say? And you know, you gave me a call. Let's try this. I mean, you can take out what you want to take out, but I'm just curious. All right, let's try this. Doesn't hurt. Cool,
I'll
cool.
try. I'll
All right,
try.
that's all I ask. We try.
Uh,
All right, so all I'm gonna do is I wish I can put your dad face on me. I think wish AI could put your dad face on me, but it can't, right?
yeah,
You know, so you call me up and like, hey, okay, and he talks to like, hey, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good.
I haven't heard from you in a while. What's up?
That man just been working
You working? Where you at now?
at home after a long day of work, just trying to relax.
Okay, so why'd you call?
Oh, I called you.
Mm, you called me.
I'm just checking in on you, trying to see what's going on, making sure you're good.
I'm good. This good. Just I'm sitting here watching TV.
All right, cool. All right, cool. Just wanted to call and check in on you, so I'll chat with you later.
Okay. So you're avoiding.
I don't have a desire to say anything else.
I'm not talking about no desire. Who cares about the desire?
But
There's nothing.
what's leading
But
me?
it's the need to say something, not the desire to say something. You need
Why
to
do
tell
I
them something.
need why?
Why do you need to? Okay, it's almost like we talked about in the beginning. Uh, why does she need? No, why do you say something? Because there's a certain spirit in you that needs to
Mhm,
get out. Well, there's a certain energy. I don't like to say I like to use energy, right? There's a
mhm,
certain energy that needs to be removed from you,
mhm,
right? And that energy can only be removed if you let it out, speak it out. For example, and I'll tell you this, most people don't know, it's all on the same thing. The same relationship you have with your pops, I have similar with my mom. It's strange, very strange. A
mhm.
lot of people don't know that. I'm not talking about Paulette, that's
Yeah, I
like
know,
my
yeah.
my other mom. I'm talking about my biological mom, right? She lived out here for like 3 years, 3 point something years, almost 3.5 years. And we didn't really get along until the last part
Mhm,
before she left. Because there are things that, although I'm expecting her to say, I'm sorry, I'm expecting her to say all this stuff, but she can never say, I'm sorry enough to me, right? Because there's going to be always something that I feel she could have done better. Right? It's like, what do you want me to say, Mike? What do you want me to say, Mike? I don't know what you want me to say. 'Cause it's not what you want him to say, it's what you need to say.
but
And what you need to go ahead, sorry.
here's the difference. No, like, if so in my mind, this is how my mind works. The difference
Okay.
between me telling my partner what I did was I had to set myself free to be the person I meant to be, and I know I
Okay.
needed to say that and tell her the truth because she's asked me so many times, and I've lied to her. I felt like I was lying to her, and I had to tell her the truth. So she asked me
Okay.
again, and she was like, "Oh, if you've ever cheated on me, now's the time to tell me so we could reconcile and move forward." Blah blah. Blah. Like just out of nowhere, and I was like, "All right, now's the time," because I've been going on this journey of trying to be a better me, and
Yeah.
it happens at a time where like, all right, this is the time. So I had to say something. So I knew the why there. I do not know the why to tell my father. I don't.
And that's okay.
So then
That's
I
okay.
like, and I guess what
Um,
stuck in me
the
is that I had one counselor tell me, until you know why, then you don't need to talk. You don't need to tell them.
ca I would say counselors are like, fitness trainers, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, everyone they all have their separate techniques,
Mm-hmm.
but they still go off the same theory, right? I would say something to him just so you can release that. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
You don't. It's like not. And when I say release that, we're talking about, and like I said, we're talking about the disappointment you have for him not coming to your game, right? The fact that you say you don't feel like you are enough, right? Right now, it's not released. So in order for it to be released, you have to go to the source to release it. He doesn't have to say, "I'm sorry." You don't got to say none of that. As a matter of fact, you ever heard that saying that apology is not for forgiveness is not for the other person, it's for yourself?
Mm-hmm.
You ever heard that?
Yeah.
Now, now this is rhetorical, but do you actually believe that, right? A lot of
Mm,
people don't really understand how to forgive themselves,
yeah.
right? It is a process, right? When you forgive yourself, okay, I'll give you an example. We'll do like examples. Okay, so there is so much that, like I said, myself and my mom. You talking about your dad, I talk about my mom, right? That I just was angry at her. I was upset, I was hurt, but I was still my mama. You know what I'm saying? Like, regardless, you gonna have that love thing, but you still kind of like the emotion is almost like having a temper tantrum, right? So what I had to do was I had to ask for forgiveness for myself because I gave so much energy into being upset with her. I gave so much energy into, you know, thinking about all the things she's done wrong to me, right? So when I say, I just want to say that, I'm sorry. I wasn't speaking to her. I was speaking to the version of myself that I see inside of her. That's who I was speaking to. Now, the old me would have said, like I wanted a response. I don't need a response because I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the version of you that I see. I'm talking to the version of you that I see myself in. And once you see yourself in your dad, right? Once you see that your dad has done the best that he can as a father, regardless of how you think it was. You're a dad, we can't do perfect all the time,
Mm-hmm.
right? I'm not saying that what he did was okay, whatever he did was I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is once you start to see that he did the best that he could do, not saying it was good, but I'm not saying it was bad either.
Mm-hmm.
And you see yourself as a father, right? How many times do you blame yourself for something that you could have done better with your daughter?
All the time.
All the time.
All the time.
You cannot apologize enough, can we?
Mm-hmm. Mm-mm.
We can we can't, right? So Taylor one day is gonna come to you and say, "Dad, why wasn't I in math class? If you put me in the math tutor, I would have been this." They're gonna come up with something, right? So what you're doing is you're asking for forgiveness for you, Mike. And I know it sounds like, but once you
Yeah, but what
do
am
it
I forgiving myself for?
for being angry or for being, I'm sorry, that's wrong. For feeling like you are not enough,
Mm. Mhm.
for feeling, for forgiving yourself for not loving wholeheartedly. Forgiving yourself for self-sabotage because you felt that you wasn't enough.
Mhm.
Forgive like for all that. And a lot of things, like you said before, it stems from that moment.
Yeah,
Will it work? Well, you haven't even tried it yet. So how do you know?
because in my mind, I only wanna say it to make him angry, to upset him.
Mm.
That's why I haven't said nothing, because it's not to forgive myself, is to make him angry and for him to feel the pain that I felt.
How do you know he doesn't?
I don't.
We don't know. We don't know what our kids are feeling. We don't know. He'll probably do it and he'll say, because all you're gonna tell him what you tell him, but then you're gonna be like, man, I should have told him this too. I should have told him this too. Dang it, I should have said this too.
Yeah.
Right. So it's never gonna be enough. And the thing is, you don't want him to pass away and you haven't forgiven yourself. Because I know I don't like doing stuff over the phone. I can't
Mhm,
stand doing stuff over the phone. I need to see the face of the person. I need to feel their energy.
mhm.
So if you're gonna say anything, I'll say, do that to him in person.
Well, that's a nice flight right there.
That's a nice flight of thought. And once you get on there, I think that it'll be a life changer for you. But like I said, we don't know unless that's why there's different, ways of doing things and you keep doing them until they work for you. But you don't say,
Mhm.
"Well, I'm not gonna do that." Like then you're not involved in it.
Yeah.
Then you're that client that we just say, "Well, why don't you do this?" And you're just saying, "Ah, because of this and because of that." I'm talking to you as as a friend. You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? We don't know if that's gonna work, but at least you can give it a try.
Yeah. You're right. You're right.
But like I said, the reason why I say that because I had to do that.
Mhm.
You
And how
know,
did it turn out for you?
you know what it felt like? It felt like we started all over again. Promise you, man.
Mhm.
Like it felt like at first it was just like it was weird because now they know. And I said some nasty things, man. I did. Like what you got that ain't
Right, that's the that's lightweight.
that is so lightweight, man. Okay, I'll tell you one thing that I said. I'll tell you one thing I
Uh-huh.
said.
Uh-oh.
Look, I said
Mm.
that I don't I said, "I don't need a mom right now." I said, "That time has passed." Almost like a Boys in the Hood moment. Like, "That
Mhm.
time has passed. I wanna get to know you as a person." Now, as soon as started to get to know her as a person, I understood where our relationship was gonna be. See, right now, you see your dad as a dad, which yeah, but try to see him as a regular person, as a person who is not in, like, you know, how would you treat him? And that's myself and my mom's relationship from then on.
I got you.
She's still
Alright.
my mom. She still gave birth to me, and I'm grateful for that, you know. But as a person, there's some challenges there.
Alright, you gonna make me do it. Nobody else has been able to make me do it, but now, like, I see the
If
light.
if you're gonna do it, do that joint in person. Don't do that. I mean,
Mm.
whenever you have time, but doing it over the
And
phone
that's
is
the
so
thing.
it's a
W
cowardly way. It's
when am
cowardly.
I gonna have time to get from not even time and money to get to California and have this conversation in the
When it
house that I
happens,
don't wanna go back into because that's the house that my mom that we grew up in, and it ain't the same with my mom not being there, and yeah.
y- you know what I hate the most? I hate being afraid of something. So I do it. I hated I was afraid of public speaking. I said, I can't stand this power over me. So I have to do it.
Yeah,
So if there's something that you're afraid of, that's when it's time to really stand up and be the gentleman that you are and
I got
do
you.
what a Don is supposed to do.
Mm.
Since that's what you said, we read all this and we said all that. Now we gotta step up.
Gotta step up and do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm, wasn't expecting this conversation to go this way, but it did, and
It
that's
did, it
what we
did.
here. That's
Hey,
what we're here
man,
for.
hey, I
That's what
just
we're
want
here
to say,
for.
man, I just want to say I love that sweater you got on, man. What's that?
Hey,
Actively Black?
actually black.
Man,
Hey,
that's a nice sweater. I gotta get on with that. Yeah, that's sharp. That's sharp. It
I'm gonna
look
tell you right
warm too.
now. I am not. We are not. This is not a paid sponsorship, but I will say Lanny Smith, the owner. This is the best gear I've ever put on. And I mean, I'm not even saying it's not even a paid
Yeah.
sponsorship. I just when they came out and my sisters want to introduce me to it, I got one of the hoodies. As soon as I put that sucker on, I was like, "Ooh!" I think I got every color hoodie they got up in there. So all you're gonna see me in is actively black on these podcasts. Just so you know, I'm
Yeah, man.
a black owned business. Um, great product. I love this stuff. So yeah, thank you, brother. Thank you, man. I'm,
It's
you
sharp,
know,
man. That's
I'm a
nice, man.
I'm gonna rep my people best I can. I'm gonna rep my people in the
There you
gear.
go.
I'm
There
gonna
you
rep my
go.
people in drinks with the Uncle
Oh, Uncle
Nearest, you
Nearest.
know. So I'm gonna do what I can to rep my people. That's important to me
Yo.
now to rep my people. So yeah. So speaking of that, we never really talked about what Don meant, right? Don talk. It's Don talk for a reason. We called ourselves Dons growing up. Like during that time, we was growing up in church. Me, you, your brother, my next door neighbor, Sean, and there was a couple other folks, but that was the core. The four of us was a
Hmm.
core, right?
Well, oh, you forgot about Steve.
Steven, yeah. And
Yeah, Steve.
it started with the core of us though, the
Yeah,
four of
yeah,
us, because
it
we was
did.
all
It did.
together. We added Steve.
I'm not gonna
Who
bring up
else?
that picture.
Oh, because I'm not in it. Because I'm away at school and I ain't in it. I'm still mad at that to this day.
I know.
That's
Hey,
a
we got to figure out some time to
traumatic
do that.
experience I got to get over.
Oh, but you got, hey,
Oh
but
man.
hey, you was the only one who got the full scholarship though.
Hey, I'll
You
take
got
it.
the full scholarship.
But all y'all musicians except for me, how did that work out?
I don't know, man. I
I
don't
still
know.
wish I could play something. Still can't play
Hey,
nothing.
man, get them pencils and start. But yeah,
No,
you're absolutely
What
right.
is tell me, what is Don? Where did it start? What does it mean to you? Or
Well,
what did it
it
mean
was
at that time? Let's start. What did it mean at that time?
at that time. Honestly, it meant being a gentleman because we were into ladies around that time, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we were a different group of guys. Like we didn't, all of us. I mean, we weren't doing much of nothing with women, but we just would treat them right. You know what I mean? We knew how to talk to them, and we just kind of prided ourselves on getting them,
Yeah.
getting
Mm-hmm.
ladies, right? And I'd like to point out, we were young, and we were just that was the time we were in.
Hey,
So
guy,
being a
I was a virgin, so when he say getting them, I don't know what he talk about.
I thought hey, if we got girls' number, that was equivalent to us having sex. Like, oh, we got their number, that we had sex, right? Right? But
They
at
landline number that we actually had
man,
to write down on a piece of paper and take home and call them from a landline.
being a down with just taking pride in ourselves, taking pride in who we are. We're as brothers, as a connection, because we were always together. We always hung out with each other. Had big ups to Big Brother, your big brother, man, because he was kind of driving us a lot of places because he was the only one that could drive at the time.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, taking pride in ourselves, in our educations and what we did to make the little money on the side that we're trying to make. And so being the Don was that's what it was all about, being respectful even to the law. I mean, being respectful to our elders. And as we got older, it kind of morphed into go ahead, Don.
Well, kind of morphed it. I'll reiterate what you said too. Like growing up, it was about the Don came from the Latin term. Don, the Hispanic Mexican individuals that were very well respected, highly educated, like high value people in the community. And we took that on like, yeah, that's who we are. We like you said, we treating the ladies right, we dressing nice, we upheld ourselves to be respectable gentlemen, and that has morphed into understanding that how we were taught to be the men or lack thereof growing up is not necessarily who we need to be today.
Yeah,
So being a Don today is like, I know some people don't like the word vulnerable, but being open, you know, opening up, breaking the barriers of who and what we weren't taught to be. We weren't
absolutely.
taught to be men of distinguished to um dive into the emotions of what we're going through, how to
Hmm.
deal with those emotions, how to talk to my friends about you. Like I said, me and you are going to find out more about each other doing this podcast than we've ever known.
Absolutely.
But and we should have been doing this a long time ago. You know, when you and Sean came to Boston and we hung out, we just hung out, had a good time. Like, and I remember at the time, my fiance would be like, "What y'all? So what's going on? Does Duran got any kids? I don't know. How old? I knew you had kids. But like, how old are they? I don't know. It's like, but it was just being around your brother
Yeah,
to know. And this was 2 years ago. So from I would say from 2 years ago to now, I've grown emotionally leaps and bounds. I am figuring out how to deal with what I've been holding up inside for so long. I think I feel like that's more of what it done, like taking what you're feeling and developing it and use it in the right way so it doesn't hurt you and those around you.
about yeah, absolutely.
And that's the journey that we're on, and that's what we want to everyday individuals. We just want to share our stories because we've been through a lot, and people are going to learn more and more of what we've been through and the stories that we have just to talk and help one another. Because I've like I said, I was a single parent, raised my daughter. She was 1.5. Now she's 25. We talked about the traumatic experience of her and her brain aneurysm. I've been down to the lowest of lows, crying at night, not knowing how I'm gonna provide for her.
Yeah.
So it's like these are stories that you don't know about that I probably haven't shared with a lot of people. A lot of people do not know I raised my daughter by myself. There's a lot of people that don't know that. So that's my girl. So it's like I want to. I've always wanted to help people, and the start of me helping people is telling a story,
And
and this podcast, getting this out there, us just talking like men, sharing our feelings, sharing our emotions, sharing our stories, and uncovering what that means and how do we navigate these emotions and
mhm.
feelings to in the right ways so it's not holding us back, but let us live free.
And I'm glad you brought that up, being a single dad, when people talk about, single dads, my dad, for a while, he raised us, by himself, before he got remarried,
Hmm.
right?
Yep.
And, like, when people talk about single dads and or men or dads being deadbeats or all that, I take that personally,
Yeah.
type of stuff,
Pisses me
and
off.
that pisses me off, but, but that's why now, I work with dads in the community, I actually wrote a children book, Daddy's Brain book, which demonstrates, father engagement. It shows how we can be more engaged with our children, and there's
Say that
nothing.
one more time because we're gonna put a link below and then so
Okay,
you can check that out.
the book is called Daddy's Green Book. It's a children's book. It's good for first-time dads or anyone who wants to increase engagement with their children. And what it does is not saying that, hey, if you read this, you'll be the best dad. No, it's pretty much saying that these are things that dad has been doing for years. Now we know what it means. See,
Hmm.
dads, when we parent, sometimes we don't even know. We just, like reading to our children or pretending with our children or, wrestling with our children. All of that, as far as research, there's research behind that that says that doing things like that, improves child's academics, their behavior, you know what I mean? So like things like that's we do so much that we don't know about. And I just want to make sure that dads, we start parenting on purpose. So the things that you're already doing, all Daddy's Green book does is highlights it.
Yeah.
That's it.
And I
So
think
thanks for
that's
bringing that up.
yeah, I love that because I think we grew up in an age where your value is based on what you provided. And I think we still
Absolutely.
struggle with a little bit of that today in this day and
Mhm.
age. You know, we date and there's a good sector of women out there that still look at you as what are you how are you gonna make their life easier? Right? That's all they would like,
Right.
what are you bringing to the
Yeah.
table to make their lives easier? And I think men are starting to understand, like, yeah, like I would love to make your life easier, but what are you doing to bring peace into the household and to help me be the best person I can be? And I think that's what we're in this phase where I'll say there's a battle, internal, external, of men realizing like both people are the prize. And I think both people, individuals have to approach each other like they're the prize, not what you're going to do
Absolutely.
for me
Yeah.
to show me your value. But listen, if you see somebody that's visually pleasing and you like them, like they're the prize. And that goes both ways. So you have to approach those situations like that, they are the prize. And I think that's one of the things that I know that you talk about, and I want people to realize that is we're more than just providers. And I think I know we have to realize that because what happens if you lose your job? I've seen and heard so many people of men that lose a job and their significant other disappears because they weren't really there for them as an individual. They were there for what they
Mhm.
did for them. So,
And
like,
that, yeah. Absolutely right. And I think like in upcoming podcasts, I think we gonna really kind of dig deep in that.
yeah.
Um, yeah, man. That's it. That's Don talk.
Don't talk. We gonna just talk about it all. Our goal is to be open and honest. Uh, we don't want to sugarcoat anything. We're not here to be disrespectful to anybody.
Mhm.
Not here to downplay anybody, demean any particular group. We want to uplift. We want to uplift through our life experiences and help people be the best version of themselves that they are capable of being, by bringing light to things that they've hidden for so long. So that's our goal. That's what we want to achieve. We're gonna have some fun in the process. You know, I envision one of us crying at some point in time doing this podcast. Like, but that's releasing and being living in your true self. There's nothing wrong with that. For too long
Absolutely.
we've been taught to don't cry, be a man. Like what does that mean? And we're gonna dive more into that. Like it doesn't make sense nowadays. You know, you have a lot of individuals that are trying to break those stereotypes of what it is to be a man, and we just want to do our part to help those out and make sure that we're telling our stories and helping out who we can.
That's Don
So,
talk. We
yep.
can
So if that's
there you go
it,
right there.
yep. Stay tuned next week for the next episode. Until then, we'll see you.
Yes, sir.